They were fast, terrifying, and sometimes just plain deadly. These water slides pushed the limits of thrill and safety so far that they had to be shut down for good. From near vertical drops to slides that literally launched people into the air, these rides were no joke. These are the top 10 most insane water slides that were so dangerous. They got banned forever. Would you have dared to ride them?
1.
VERRÜCKT, SCHLITTERBAHN Water Park, Kansas City, USA. This wasn't just a water slide. It was a monstrous vertical drop from 168 feet high, making VERRÜCKT the tallest water slide in the world when it opened in 2014. Riders were strapped into a raft, dropped nearly straight down, and then launched over a second hill, like a roller coaster, but powered only by water and gravity. But what was meant to be a record-breaking thrill turned into a devastating tragedy. In 2016, a 10-year-old boy was killed in a horrific accident when the raft went airborne. The ride was immediately shut down, lawsuits followed, and the entire slide was demolished. VERRÜCKT was built to thrill, but it crossed the line between excitement and danger, and sadly it paid the ultimate price. 2. Cannonball Loop, Action Park, New Jersey, USA. This water slide looked like something out of a cartoon. A fully enclosed, near-vertical tube ending in a complete 360-degree loop. Opened briefly in the summer of 1985, Cannonball Loop promised the kind of thrill no one had ever seen before. But riders didn't just loop, they crashed, flipped, and slammed into the sides. The physics were all wrong. Test dummies were sent through first and came out in pieces. Even after redesigns, brave or foolish employees were offered cash to try it, and many emerged battered and bloodied. The ride was shut down after only 1 month, and legends of broken noses and knocked-out teeth became part of Action Park's infamous history. Cannonball Loop wasn't a ride, it was a dare, and one that proved far too insane to survive. 3rd steamer slide, CALYPSO Water Park, Ontario, Canada. At first glance, the steamer looked like a colorful, twisting ride made for pure fun. 2 intertwining enclosed slides with unexpected drops and sharp turns. Opened as part of CALYPSO Water Park's attractions, it quickly became a popular choice for thrill seekers in Ontario, Canada. But that thrill didn't last. In 2011, a series of terrifying incidents began to surface, including collisions between rafts inside the dark tubes and violent stops that sent riders flying. Multiple people were seriously injured, with some requiring hospitalization for spinal or head trauma. The slide was shut down several times for investigations and repairs, but the problems kept returning. Eventually, lawsuits and safety concerns forced authorities to take permanent action. The steamer was supposed to twist and thrill, but it spiraled out of control and straight into disaster. 4. AQUA, DREAMWORLD, Gold Coast, Australia. The AQUA was designed to combine speed, spins, and splash in one wild ride. Riders were sent hurtling through massive enclosed sphere-shaped chambers, twisting through tunnels at high speed before slamming into walls of water and G-forces. It opened at DreamWorld's Whitewater World in Australia's Gold Coast, promising a next-level aquatic experience. But that excitement turned serious when multiple guests reported violent collisions and unexpected stops inside the ride. In one particularly alarming incident, a raft flipped mid-ride, injuring several people and prompting an immediate investigation. Concerns grew over the design and the unpredictability of raft movement inside the spheres. Eventually, under mounting scrutiny, the slide was quietly removed from the park. AQUA promised an unforgettable rush, but the only thing riders remembered was the danger. 5. The Drop, Waterworld, Colorado, USA. The name said it all. The drop was a near-vertical plunge that sent riders free-falling into a splash zone at terrifying speed. Standing tall at over 6 stories high, this body slide gave riders no raft, no protection, just you, gravity, and a whole lot of adrenaline. But the danger wasn't just in the drop. It was in the brutal impact. Multiple guests complained of severe bruises, back injuries, and even losing consciousness upon hitting the water at the bottom. The slide's design offered no margin for error, And after several incidents and growing safety concerns, park officials had no choice but to permanently shut it down. The drop delivered on its promise of fear, but it dropped too hard, too fast, and crossed the line into real harm. 6. Kilimanjaro, ALDEIA das Águas Park, Brazil. Towering at 164 feet, 50 meters, Kilimanjaro wasn't just one of the tallest water slides in the world. It was a vertical rocket launch straight into a pool of panic. Located in Brazil's ALDEIA das Águas Park, this body slide sent riders plummeting at speeds over 60 miles per hour, with nothing but their swimsuit and sheer nerve to hold on. But the extreme height and insane speed came at a cost. Riders reported losing control mid-slide, slamming into the water with dangerous force, and suffering painful landings that left bruises and injuries. Some even fainted from the adrenaline rush or bailed before the drop out of fear. Despite being an icon, mounting safety concerns and international scrutiny eventually led to the slide being closed to the public for extended periods, and it's no longer open like it once was. Kilimanjaro dared riders to face their fears, but for many the fear turned far too real. 7. INSANO, Beach Park, Brazil. Standing at 135 feet, 41 meters tall, INSANO lived up to its name. It was once the tallest water slide in the world, and definitely one of the most terrifying. Opened in 1989 at Beach Park in Brazil, the ride sent daredevils free-falling almost vertically, reaching speeds of up to 65 miles per hour in just a few seconds. It was a thrill like no other, but it was also borderline reckless. Riders described feeling their bodies lift off the slide, experiencing zero gravity, and slamming into the pool below with bone-jarring impact. Over the years, reports of injuries, bruises, and intense back pain began to stack up. Safety experts began questioning the slide's design, and eventually INSANO was retired from public use, replaced by modern, safer alternatives. INSANO pushed the boundaries of thrill, but eventually proved that some extremes just aren't worth the risk. 8. Black Hole, Wet n Wild, Florida, USA. Pitch black, high speed, and totally unpredictable. The Black Hole at Wet n Wild in Orlando was a ride straight into the unknown. Riders were launched into complete darkness, twisting and turning through a maze of enclosed tubes with no idea what came next. It was thrilling, disorienting, and unlike anything else when it opened in the 1990s. But that mystery came with serious risk. Riders began reporting collisions inside the slide, with some slamming into others or into the slide walls at high speed. In one notorious case, a man was seriously injured, resulting in a massive lawsuit and a payout of over $1.7 million. The park tried to keep it running, but the legal battles and safety concerns kept piling up. Eventually, Black Hole was permanently closed, and the slide became just another dark chapter in the park's history. The Black Hole delivered darkness and thrill, but what riders couldn't see ended up hurting them. 9. Scorpion's Tail, Noah's Ark Waterpark, Wisconsin, USA. This wasn't your average water slide. It was a looping trapdoor drop that looked more like a stunt from an action movie. Opened in 2010 at Noah's Ark Waterpark, the Scorpion's Tail stood 10 stories high and featured a nearly vertical 50-foot free fall, followed by a high-speed loop, all starting with a floor that literally dropped out from under you. But that intense start was just the beginning of the trouble. Some riders didn't make it through the loop, getting stuck inside or sliding backward, which forced emergency stops and manual rescues. There were reports of painful impacts, nosebleeds, and even trapdoor malfunctions. Over time, concerns about consistency and safety grew, and the slide was eventually shut down and dismantled. Scorpion's Tail was built for shock and awe, but its wild design proved too dangerous to last. 10th Summit Plummet, early version, Disney's Blizzard Beach, Florida, USA. When it opened in the mid-1990s, Summit Plummet was hailed as one of the tallest and fastest free-fall body slides in the world, towering at 120 feet and sending riders down at speeds over 60 miles per hour. Located at Disney's Blizzard Beach, it looked like something from a frozen fantasy. But what awaited riders was pure, unrelenting force. In its early days, the slide's design was far more aggressive. With minimal braking systems in a near-vertical plunge, guests often hit the water with bruising impact. Some even reported losing their swimwear mid-ride or suffering painful abrasions. Disney quietly tweaked the slide over time, improving its safety, slowing the descent slightly, and adjusting water flow. While Summit PLUMMET still operates today, the original version was simply too extreme, even by thrill-seeker standards. Summit PLUMMET was Disney's wildest ride, but its original design proved that even magic has limits.
Well, turns out water, gravity, and human error don't always mix. These water slides took thrills to a whole new level, and then launched themselves right into the ban for life zone. Which one made your jaw drop the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss more crazy stuff like this.